Depressing as this sounds, it's been a part of our lives for as long as we can
Yeah.
remember. People have felt like they can judge us for as long as we can remember. So I think we've gotten to a point where we can take criticism constructively. But if someone has a problem with like us looking a little chubby on one day where like we just weren't feeling good about ourselves, we're just like, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Like we'll prove ourselves where it matters. Or at least there was a really weird article about how I stalked an actor at some party. Like I followed him around the party. Or something like that. And I was like, this doesn't even sound like me. I knew one person at that party and I only stuck to her. And I had like this very what happened. I went home. It was like my first ever party in this game. I was so bummed. Someone recently actually told me, say, you need to give the audience something that is easy for them to digest and relate to. Either you're the relatable, like,
Girl next door.
sanskari girl who loves going to Tirupati, or you're the girl that wears mini skirts and goes out with her friends, or you're the girl that's only working. So what are you gonna show them? What are you? And I'm like, but I'm all of these things.
Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Speak Easy. My guest today is very special and of course she has so much in store for her. She's been here trying to prove and make her space for a while now. It's been more than a couple of years now, isn't it? And I think you all have given her a lot of love. I'm talking about the very talented Janhvi Kapoor. There has been an acceptance. I remember from the first interview that we did, you know, and you always said that, I don't know, I just hope that they accept me the way I am. And
Yeah.
they have kind of accepted you the way you are.
I think so. I mean, at least that's the part that I'd like to focus on. I think that they've given me so much love, so much warmth, and I feel like I can gauge from the people that are rooting for me. They feel very personally about the work that I do, about my successes, about my hardships. So I care about them very deeply, and I just hope that I can keep doing good work or work that makes them happy and gives them more reason to keep supporting.
Tell me, do you think post Gunjan particularly you've started being taken seriously as an actor? You feel that? Because according to the kind of roles that you've been getting also, right?
Yeah, I think a little bit after Ghost Stories, I started seeing a shift in the kind of roles that I was being approached for. And then after Gunjan, in a massive way, really, all of a sudden I was only getting offers for female-oriented films.
Yeah.
And films that had a lot of like emotional load. And I found it extremely flattering. But there was a moment where I spoke to Dad about it, and I was like, you know, I really want to do a comedy, and I'm really scared that they're boxing me into this category of like
serious actor.
Like, I don't know about serious actor, but just like serious or a little like emotional or
like slightly
dark.
dramatic.
Slightly, yeah. And I have really been wanting to try my hand at something more comical and lighter as well. But having said that, I think that it's so flattering that people would even consider seeing me in that light.
Rightly so. And nobody wants to get boxed, right? And particularly in so early in your career when this is the time that you want to go out and do whatever you feel like. It's
But
good.
you're figuring yourself out, really.
Goodluck Jerry is a part of that journey. And it came to you through RNG is what I hear. So I want to know how that developed into finally getting a role like this, because the original is a very, very interesting one and it has a lot going for Nayantara.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd seen the original a little before I'd had the narration for Goodluck Jerry, and I just thought that it was such a fun film. And although it had all of those intense beats, emotional beats, a very interesting character arc of a girl, I don't know, finding her strength and, you know, her survival instinct. It also had a lot of comic elements, which, like I told you, I was trying to do. So I was so excited to be a part of it and so thrilled to see what this film would be like in Hindi and in a completely different state and in a completely different world. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Tell me how you taking the, like for example, Roohi was another attempt at it, like in the horror comedy zone of it.
But I wasn't doing the
Yeah, you were not doing the comedy, correct. But tell me, when you have put that kind of effort and everything else, and I remember when we met at that time, you were like, you know, I don't know, I'm worried. How did you get over that period? Because, you know, when something that you've put so much your heart into doesn't do the way that you hoped it would.
Yeah. I think we all went into it knowing that it's a bit of a risk. But we also all went into it feeling like someone needs to be the first one to take that risk. And I think we believed in what we did. And I mean, I don't want to sound arrogant when I'm saying this, but it was almost like taking that first step for the rest of the industry a little bit. It was peak COVID time. Theaters in Maharashtra were only operating at 50% occupancy. But we believed that we can't let this culture die out, and we could sense that everyone was too skeptical to take that risk, and we felt like, you know, we should just do it. What's the worst that could happen? I think you know, our producer Dinesh Vijayan was very smart about how he went about everything. He looked out for all of us as actors. He looked out for the movie, and if you look at it on paper, we are a successful film monetarily, which for the producers is a big part of the whole journey. And I think that even I remember when the film came out, a lot of the theater owners were calling Dad up and calling Dinu sir up and saying that y'all have really like helped and you know, gotten people back to some extent and revived jobs. So I think it was just taking that step, and I would like to focus on that because we never thought that, you know, hum aayenge or bawaal machayenge.
Very subtle promotion of the next one, Janhvi. Look at you, so clever.
But yeah, we knew that it was a risk and it was a gamble, and we wanted to take it.
Since you brought that up yourself, it must be exciting, right? Even that seems like a zone which will give you to sort of extend your comedic talents, explore it more, I'm assuming.
I mean, I don't know what comedic talents. Varun's doing a lot of the comedy, but yeah, it's a very lively space. It's a very sensitive story with a lot of fun and madness in it.
You'll have to use at least 10 times the word Bawaal, isn't it? Varun will make it a rule to say, hum log Bawaal kar rahe hain. Bawaal will happen, right? When I first spoke to you, you're like, you know, I go with what the director wants, like I'm more instinctive. But I want to know that now that you've been a couple of years in the industry, how do you really approach the role that you get?
I really think it depends on what the director wants of you and what the character demands of you. I had to learn, you know, what a Bihari dialect would sound like. I had to get into that, and I had to learn it so well that it was second nature to me. I had to understand the world that she came from because it's so different from my world, and we wanted that kind of authenticity. It wasn't like a culturally ambiguous character at all. The story is very deep rooted in the environment. So I had to like spend a lot of time on this film prep wise. And Siddharth wanted that. That was his process. With Millie, not so much. He wanted it to be very instinctive. He wanted me to come in with no prep. Mahi, there's a lot of physical prep with the cricket. Bawaal, there was a decent amount of readings and discussions, but again, I think Nitesh sir likes us to know our characters very well, but keep it as organic and natural as possible.
So you're still going by more instinctive than sort of...
Yeah, I mean, I guess if another way to answer your question is, I guess some actors like to stay in character even when they're
off set.
I don't think I stay in character. I just like to get to know my character as much as possible, and then it's kind of a switch on, switch off.
Do you also have like a track and all that a lot of people do? Ranveer, I know, has a thing for everything.
Yeah, I
like
have
a playlist.
For every film.
Yeah? What's your playlist for Jerry?
I think I still have it on my phone. It was a lot of Punjabi rap. It was a lot of like Anurag Kashyap music.
Really? Like Paradesi and all of that.
All of that.
Very interesting. But before I move on to other questions, we have a little beef to settle. How can you call Bao better than Momo? You are a person who makes some Momo in the film. Where is your loyalty?
My loyalty is I'm going to say Momos now because we're promoting Goodluck Jerry, but really I'm a pork Bao kind of girl.
Fine. A lot of Momo lovers are going to be very disappointed, but it's interesting. You learned the process of it. So can you now make a decent dim sum or a Momo, like the wrapping?
Make a decent Momo.
You can make decent.
We were only making like cabbage carrot Momos because...
Great, I'm a vegetarian. So.
Yeah, so is Jerry. So we were only making cabbage carrot Momos, but it's such a skill to like wrap it and then they do this and they make that pattern, and it was quite cool. I would always go home smelling like momos and cabbage.
It's a nice smell to it.
So who wants to smell like a cabbage?
It just makes us hungry. People who really love momos will very recognize that.
I don't want like someone to look at me like bhook lagi hai. Or maybe
that will get. Maybe you do. I like it. Exactly. See, Janhvi, momos always come in handy. You just like not looking at the fun aspects of it. But anyway, listen. Like I was saying, it's been a couple of years now. I feel like now you're slightly heading towards I can be go into the senior zone for people who will walk in now in the industry, which is your sister. It was so cute to see the excitement because I think I loved the teaser bit of it, and Zoya is amazing.
She's the best. And my
She's
sister's
so
the
cool.
best. And everyone's like really
So
excited.
cute.
Everyone's
But
like,
you were, right?
Yeah, I can't, like, I'm telling you, I can't control my excitement every time she just came back from her outdoor yesterday. And I only got an hour to spend with her because I was promoting, and then I had cricket, and then I had dubbing. And then I had to come here in the morning. So I'm really bummed that all of y'all are keeping me from her. But
Me included.
yeah, you included. But
Hello? You have a good product, you're proudly promoting it.
no, I'm very proud, but my sister's also at home.
So
and I really miss her. She was away for 2 months. And she's been working so hard. And everyone on that film, each cast member.
Suhana, how good they look.
Yeah, superb. I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away. These kids are so talented, so hardworking.
So now you know my question was apt. You kind of are like the senior to them.
They are all the senior. I feel like them in that teaser.
Yeah.
People don't realize how much ease they have.
Yeah,
on
they
the
do.
camera. It's not easy.
The camaraderie that they build for each other also, right? Like
And
it's just
they work
ease.
on it so much.
Very Riverdale vibes, obviously, but I love it. It's a good vibe to have. To have the Riverdale vibe is a good vibe.
I'm telling you, they're gonna win everyone over, and I just can't wait for when they do.
Really?
Yeah.
But tell me, like Khushi's seen you. Like you have your highs and you have your lows. Did you have that talk, like that? I don't know, the conversation about this is going to be tough as well, but there'll be glorious days.
She's way more thick-skinned than I am.
Really?
Definitely. And I mean, I don't think I've seen like glory days yet for her to have even seen it.
No, like as an actor, glorious days. You know, when you are done a good scene and someone tells you you've done well, so it's like it's a great feeling, right?
Yeah. I think she's. I don't know about the done well and all of that, but I think every time I've like performed really well and come home and spoken to her about it, she senses that euphoria, that that high that you get when you live a moment of honesty in front of the camera is, I think, unbeatable and unmatchable, and it's very visceral, I think.
So you think she will just sail through all the trolling that obviously will happen a little bit?
But as depressing as this sounds, it's been a part of our lives for as long as we can remember. People have felt like they can judge us for as long as we can remember. So I think we've gotten to a point where we can take criticism constructively. But if someone has a problem with like us looking a little chubby on one day where like we just weren't feeling good about ourselves, we're just like, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Like we'll prove ourselves where it matters, or at least try really hard to.
She's wise. If she if she's seen you also go through, maybe she's kind of ready for the entire thing of it, right?
She's more ready than I was, for sure. I was not ready for this world.
Listen, it's like there was this I remember you had told me about how like uncomfortable you are with sort of kind of sharing your life with the world because has that comfort become better?
I think it's just become easier. I think that's also come because I know myself better and I'm more comfortable with the person that I am right now. So I don't take things too seriously. I think when you stop judging yourself, it's easier for you to not take other people judging you seriously. So I have fun with it now. I'm not an oversharer at all.
No.
My life does not revolve around calculated decisions to create some sort of perception. I think that approach irks me a little bit. But I do have fun. I do have more fun with sharing now than I did before. I'm just easier about it.
I don't think you need anyone to defend you, but I think here there is truth because if you see Janhvi's gym looks, you will see that she is very casual, and even when you're sitting outside normally walking, I mean, it can't be calculated. You know what I mean? Like it's not curated in that way.
But people have had talks with me about you need to now start giving a shit. Like you need to feel like every time you step out, you need to have like, you need to be put together. People need to think that you're unattainable, inaccessible, and I'm like, but man.
You're not that person, right?
Gym ke baad kya
to go and have a blow dry your hair and then like come out leaving like the best.
No, and even like when I go out with my friends, someone recently actually told me, saying you need to give the audience something that is easy for them to digest and relate to. Either you're the relatable like
girl next door,
sanskari girl who loves going to Tirupati, or you're the girl that wears mini skirts and goes out with her friends, or you're the girl that's only working. So what are you gonna show them? What are you? And I'm like, but I'm all of these things.
Yeah.
I am all of these
And
things. Now what do I do? I'm a little complicated, I guess, but isn't that also relatable?
But that's so weird, and this is told to a lot of young actors, and particularly female. I don't want to make this about male people, but it's true.
I don't know if it's a male-female thing, but actually now that I'm
It
thinking
is.
of it, it is.
It
I
is.
guess. But,
Of course.
I just can't take it seriously.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard to take it seriously. It's not in me. I take my work
It's fine.
very seriously, the rest of it, like.
And which is fine. I think also like Tirupati girl, I don't think you go to Tirupati just to prove your sanskari. You know, you want it because it comes from heart, right?
In fact, today morning when I was speaking to Tanvi, my makeup artist, and I just missed Tirupati.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of months and there's just a feeling of missing the energy of
And the calm and the peace.
Yeah, it means a lot to me.
Yeah, and which is fine. And because you said that I can't think about this so much, I'm like, you've also had difficulties, and I want to know, how do you keep your mental health in check? And it's so important.
I think just to know that everything is transitory. Aaj acha, kal bura. Today most loved, tomorrow most hated. It doesn't.
You've accepted that?
Yeah. You can't get attached to no state is permanent.
I like how, because Karthik had once told me very early, saying that I'm दुनिया का सबसे चहीता actor बनना चाहता हूँ. And you know, cut to what you're saying is very interesting, because you said, you know what, I'm okay with not being also the best some days and not getting that kind of love.
As long as I know that I'm doing work that's coming from my heart and doing it as sincerely as possible and working as hard as possible, I know that in my eyes I'll have respect for myself, and I think honest work always gets its due. Yeah. I do want to be the most loved. I do want that love. Every actor, every person wants it.
Yeah.
And I know that if I work hard enough, I will get it, but you just can't get attached to it. Yeah, because it can be transitory, right? Like, it is transient. It is. Yeah. It is. I mentioned that because, you know, I had a lovely chat with Arjun, and he always talks so fondly of you all, and he mentioned the body transfer picture that he put out, it got love, but he was like, people were still, they had comments about, oh, I had hair in my thing, and he's like, I'm done with it, you know. He's like, why is there so much hatred? And in fact, he said, I'm thick-skinned now, and somewhere, and I remember that he said that, you know, I just can't take it when they go after my family or my sister and mother, like, would you like it? And that, I think, is such a real thing to say, that, you know, it's just difficult to see your family go through. It must be similar in your case as well, right? Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a big part of the person that Arjun Bhaiya is. Yeah, he's lovely. He is very, I think, protective, and he has a lot of respect for, I think, his family. Yeah. That's something that I look up to him for. And I think that, listen, you must be stupid or like really tragically frustrated if you can look at a man's transformation, the way that he's had. Yeah. And let me tell you, he's gone through a lot to get there. He has like his health problems. He's had a tough journey, but like he's done it for himself. He's healthier now. He's doing his best. And if you can't look at that transformation and appreciate it, then like you're an idiot. Yeah, you're very petty. Yeah, but I mean, I guess you know what I feel social media is like? It's like बच्चे को जब what is that speakerphone? Microphone? हाँ, speakerphone. Yeah, speakerphone. Yeah. So like of course full day they'll be playing कि अरे मेरी आवाज इतनी loud हो रही है, सब लोग सुन रहे हैं. So they're just like they'll say anything. बोलने के लिए कुछ भी बोलेंगे. But yeah, coming back to your question, I am very protective of my family. I can take the brickbats. I just think that if anyone pointed a finger at my siblings or my parents, I think that even the thought of it gives me sleepless nights. Have you ever thought of like retorting back on social media? Or I think the only time that I have retorted or even thought of retorting was when they've said something about my parents or my siblings. Honestly, especially my father. And I think I've been this way about him since I was a kid. But he must be so tense right now. No, Khushi also is entering. He's be like, now I'll see. And I'm sure he also gets worried when he reads all of that. Yeah. No, he's actually very chill. He's very chill. He's seen it all. That's true. It all. Nothing phases him. Okay, here's the fun segment. Tell me names of yours that are extremely funny that probably your siblings or your family knows about. Your nicknames. Everyone calls me JK. Khushi calls me Janu. Papa calls me Janu. Even Archana Didi calls me Janu. Most other people call me JK, or my school friends call me Fatty. Really? Kapoor. They used to call me Harry Potter. Because I wasn't allowed to wax for a really long time. Wasn't allowed
Really?
me, so they used to call me hairy feet. And Bigfoot also, because I have big feet.
You're kidding me.
Yes, Bigfoot, Harry Potter, Fatty Kapoor. My friends still call me Fatty.
In fun way,
I mean,
man.
I was like relatively chubby in
Yeah.
school, and you know how like boys are.
Yeah.
And there's this
Kids are mean.
and I like it when they call me Fatty. It's like
It's a
moment, I think.
or like it's reminiscent of those good old days, like that.
And I like that, like in their head, I'm still Fatty Kapoor.
Yeah, it's not like you're Janhvi the star or
No,
something.
I'm still
Yeah.
Fatty.
Tell me a rumor about yourself that makes you laugh. A rumor about yourself that makes you laugh.
I think a really long time ago, there was a really weird article about how I stalked an actor at some party. Like I followed him around the party or something like that. And I was like, this doesn't even sound like me. I knew one person at that party and I only stuck to her. And I had like this very what happened. I went home. It was like my first ever party in this game. I was so bummed. I was like, I don't even think I met this person.
But I remember you telling me you're socially awkward. That continues?
No.
Now you're better?
Yeah, now I'm like, now I'm telling you, I feel like once you get to know yourself and like you're on that path of you're not taking things too seriously, you have fun.
But that's a really ridiculous rumor and that does make me laugh actually.
Do I seem like the
No! Also, if you have everybody around you, you would not be, you know. Like, you know what I mean?
They said I followed him into some room. I was like, why? Which room, first of all?
Tell me something of a characteristic of Jerry that you like, that you would sort of keep it with you, and something that you don't like that you don't think you'd ever take.
I think she'll do anything for her family.
Okay, that's something like you. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
She'll do anything for her family, and I think she has a guilty conscience.
Guilty conscience?
Yeah, like she has a conscience. She's morally, like her compass is little like haywire, I think. But she's figuring herself out. She's a little, one thing that I don't want to become, she's a little like chunt. She knows she can go.
Is it like a street smart hustler, which is a good thing, right?
Yeah, like you get pushed to the wall, so you start like hustling a little. But I think she's very aware of how she can go out people.
So basically, you don't want to be chunt.
I don't want to be so chalu.
Okay, she's quite chunt.
She is.
Okay, fair enough.
She discovers that about herself through the course of the film.
Tell me, what's the worst audition or that you ever done?
My auditions, I think I've been pretty.
Like aced it?
I think I've done a decent job.
Is there some like a particular first job that you remember which you like are embarrassed about? Is what my question is.
Oh, I think I auditioned for an international project once, and I just recently saw that tape, and it was bad.
Really?
It was really bad. Yeah, that was it. I didn't get the job, obviously.
What is one thing about yourself that you'd like to change and one thing that you'd never want to change?
One thing that I'd like to change is I don't want to change anything. I really like one. I think I'm like a really cool chick.
I think you are. No, but you have to also be self-aware to know that.
Yeah, I don't want to change anything. I like my flaws. Like I'm a little complicated and neurotic sometimes and hyper and oversensitive, but I like all those parts of me.
I'm getting Jerry vibes. Yeah.
I think that I don't think I harbor any negative feelings towards anyone else. Like I would never wish anything bad for anyone else.
Yeah.
Those bitter feelings don't come to me, and that's something I'd like to preserve about myself and value the most.
A female contemporary of yours you'd like to work with and do like a kick-ass, a badass female-oriented
I think
project.
me and Sara would have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be great, no? Like
I think we'd have better chemistry with each other than we'd have with like most other men.
woohoo! I love that. Okay, an actor from the Tamil industry that you want to work with, Tamil and Telugu, and why?
Allu sir, I definitely want to work with.
Allu Arjun. Okay.
And Vijay, I've been saying for a really long time.
Yeah.
But I think he's a phenomenal actor.
Okay, fair enough. You have worked with now quite amazing directors. Is there someone in the list that still remains the Janhvi wants to work with?
Neeraj Khaiman.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we put the vibes out there?
That's why I've really been putting the vibes out.
It's a funny, right? You know, to end it, what is one thing that you've learned in these 5 years that you've been in the industry?
Just keep your head down and keep working.
That's it?
Yeah. I mean, I've learned many other things as well. I just can't
Like describe this long answer.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me a few, one or two. It's interesting to
Keep your
know.
head down, keep working. Be as sincere as possible with your work. Know that that's the focus. Always check yourself to know the reason that you're doing things. So like your intention should always be correct. And also like take a minute to just live. You need to live. Otherwise your well's gonna get empty and what do you think?
Work-life balance.
It's not even about that. I think as an actor, if your well is empty, if you're not living and experiencing, then what are you going to? You'll get repetitive in your craft as well.
Yeah, where's that inspiration from, right? Because real life inspiration is important.
And real life growth is important, I think.
Lovely chatting with you. I hope you had fun as well.
I did.
And well, all the best. We're looking forward to see what Jerry does and how she survives.
29th of July on Disney Plus Hotstar.
Thank you. Always lovely chatting with you, Janhvi. Thank you.
रोज सुबह 7 से 12 बजे जूम देखो। हर रोज 3 लकी विनर्स को मिलेंगे 5,000 रुपए के एक्साइटिंग प्राइजेस। तो जूम देखो, प्राइज जीतो।